Cabral,
Uh-huh.
my friend.
That's me.
Do you know what time it is?
It's like 9 o'clock.
Cabral, my friend, I believe you are mistaken because it is actually time to play dice game for children. That's right, we got Pokemon Showdown.
That's not dice game for children. Hold on.
Yeah, it is.
Hello and welcome everybody to Double Dip Draft Week 2 of playoffs. We're at the top 8 and we got some spicy matches. We get to see what top 4 looks like. We get to talk about the matches that have happened. We can go over the season, kind of how it all played out for Season 7, because the next time you hear my voice, most likely, is going to be at the actual live stream for the final 4 matches, or I say grand finals themselves. We got the bronze match and the first place match and the 4 and all that fun stuff. But either way, I've got a guest host.
If I'm not mistaken, oh, hello, I am Doodle. Hello, this
Yep.
is my first time guest hosting.
What team are you in?
What do you mean, what team?
What's your team?
Oh, my team is the Job and Wobbuffets.
Yeah,
As
and
per their namesake, they jobbed out.
yep,
Yeah,
and
baby.
I'm Cabral, the Hashlinking Aegis Slashers. Welcome back. It's a double dip. What were you gonna say?
Is it true that at the Double Dip stream that there will also be the Dibbies?
Oh
Or
yes,
am I
the
mistaken?
Dippies will be there, but we can't say anything about that just yet. We're gonna talk about that though at the end of all this. We're gonna go over the details, kind of like time-wise and framing and how it's all gonna kind of look. But we got a couple of matches, and by a couple I mean like 4, so 2 couples of matches to kind of go over and talk about.
Is this a pretty good poker hand? Because I'm noticing 2 pairs. What's our first match of the day, Cabral?
Oh, we have Spood of the Southtown Sandslashers versus Bananas of the Don't Drop That Dedennes. And what a season we've had. Bananas, of course, I believe going 6-1 this season, only being defeated by Claire and doing a really good job for his first ever season of just playing. And just coming out of nowhere and just having quite a slobber knocker against some of our veteran players.
Indeed, and if I'm not mistaken, are they from the same division? No, they're from different.
No, they're from different divisions. Bananas are
Different
from my
divisions.
division. Funny you say that. All of the people from Diamond Division, except for me, are still in this, actually. So Diamond
Oh.
Division has, like, a lot of players still left in this.
Yeah, Diamond Division is representing, yeah?
Very well. With, I believe, Spood and Nihilus being the last remnants, and IDM and Chemist. So Platinum's here as well, actually. What am I talking about?
Right, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Everyone's representing, except Pearl is, I think, the one that's not being represented for now. With the
Well,
exception of Vincent. I think Vincent is
Except,
Vincent's the only Pearl player left, actually, in playoffs. So we'll have to see if he can carry that legacy over for everyone.
as someone who identifies as a Pearl player himself, I am unsure what to make of this, considering Vincent's status as the resident Pearl villain, but he's also our only representative at this point, so I'm unsure.
Yeah, you're unsure where your
behind
loyalties
him.
lie.
Indeed.
I'm gonna drop down my microphone a smidge. I think I was peaking a little bit.
That's completely fair, my friend.
Yeah. But with that said, looking at the team preview, Cody's bringing a couple of staples. Drampus come pretty often, as well as the Bird, and Typhlosion has been running Scarf fairly recently for the most part. Not every single week, but for quite I think the last couple of matches, it's been coming Scarfed, because it does a lot of work for him.
Yeah, Typhlosion is a very, very common bring for Spook, for sure, and it's usually scarfed. That's a fair assessment to make.
Yeah. Bananas, though, bringing a couple new faces. We see Skuntank, which has come once before, and I think this is Aridos' first match, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think it's come at all during the season. It's an interesting breed, bringing 2 poison types. I'm not too sure how this is going to play out.
This is Aridos' second match, but it is a very rare bring, for sure.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying me on that. And we do see Golurk also making a brief appearance. We do see it. It's likely here to deal with the bird because that bird's got some dummy drumsticks on it, and it hits really hard.
Yeah, it's got those beatstick hands ready for punching.
It does not have hands, it has feet.
Beatstick feet ready for beating meat.
With that being said, we should go ahead and get started on this replay. With Bananas starting off with Golurk, probably setting up Stealth Rocks knowing him. Cody, though, coming out the gate swinging with an energy ball. That'll be scaring off that Golurk. Ball. Yeah.
Aggressive smooch from Smood.
Yep. Defog being nice to get rid of rocks. Volt switching, playing it safe, going straight into Deoxys' defense. Cody playing a really well opener here. Golurk comes back out against this thing. Cody gets back in Mulga. Getting tricked on, getting an assault vest now.
How useful was that trick, would you say?
Very useful because Emolga can no longer use defog now, so Rocks is very free.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The assault vest probably did save it there from a kill, though.
Really?
Yeah, because I think without assault vest it might have died. It's at 9% health. So.
Yeah, indeed. Momentum going crazy in this match.
Yeah, for sure.
But the assault vest attack. Oh no, the assault vest kills it.
Yep. I don't know if crit mattered there. Looks like it might have mattered according to the chat. I'm not 100% certain. But either way, Boneless comes out. Berserk activating. Of course, when Berserk activates after 50% health is dropped to, and clicking Roost again.
Exactly 50% health.
Yep, and it activates again because of Roost, which is really nice. And Cody just kills this.
500 IQ play from Smood, I think.
Cody switching out.
Very smart play.
Being very scared of Low Punny. Not sure what it'll do because it is a fighting type.
Huge hit from Low Punny.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It did. Breakfast out here to play. Quick and Snatch expecting to be hit, but... Oh, Snatch steals the move that your opponent uses for the turn, so he stole that health.
Oh, okay.
Got some very interesting sets right here. Nightshade, very well played. Banana switching that. Fake out.
Hard guessing that one. Gets the flinch.
Yep, U-turn doing mega damage. Ariados coming out. Rock's coming back up. Cody decided to attack this instead of healing. Toxic Thread is a very rare move. Essentially, it slows down your opponent and poisons them. And then he sets up webs on top of that.
The sticky webs. Now that's a banger. That's a banger move.
Yeah. Of course, the bird's not affected because it flies. But everything else now, except for Metagross and... the bird are affected, but at this point, Nihilus has lost quite a few Pokemon. Cody still has quite a few Pokemon in his favor going. So it's just a matter of seeing if Cody can keep up that momentum. However, I don't think with what he has left, he hits Easy Bake Oven over here hard enough. Thank you for laughing, by the way.
I'm very curious why Low Punny is named Louise, but...
I'm not sure. Getting that agility up. Issue is Sucker Punch. Yep, he did reveal it earlier as well. And Cody cannot really deal with, like, priority with this team. Because, you know, you see agility here. Sure, Cody's faster, but Sucker Punch comes in and just still hits it.
Would he have had to use the agility if he wasn't caught in the sticky web?
He might not have, but he definitely still needs it for Low Punny, regardless.
Right.
Cody scouting, getting rid of the... not scouting, getting rid of the fake out.
Gets rid of the fake out, but then the quick attack comes in!
Yeah!
Attacking both the fake out and the quick attack on the same Mon.
Yep.
Absolute mad lad moves.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and doing 29% at this point, Cody cannot deal with Easy Bake Oven here. Pain Split just gets back enough health, and at this point, Cody does not have a lot of options left because Volt Switch just kills, Low Punny comes in, and of course we do see Drampa, which by the way, this Low Punny is not running a fighting move, but either way, Boneless does not have a lot of physical defense anyways. Has more special defense, if I recall, than defense.
And with that, Nihilus wins 2-0 against the Southtown Sandslashers.
Yeah, Cody just could not keep up at the end there. I think Cody lost a bit of his footing. I think more so the Mega Lopunny having quick attack, also getting Sucker Punch on Skuntank was pretty big. Also, we saw some really fun sets, I think, from Nihilus, having Snatch and Toxic Thread, things we don't really see at all in this draft league.
Yeah, Nihilus was very well prepared and brought some very interesting tech specifically for Spood, and I would say it paid off.
Yeah.
It paid off very well for Nihilus.
And Cody, to be fair too, like Cody's Energy Ball Emolga was really fun and did a lot of damage to Golurk.
That is pretty... I mean, honestly, this is just high-level Pokemon, back and forth, very exciting action.
I mean, that's what you get.
Fun match overall.
Yeah, when you're in this level of playoffs, when we're coming down to the Final Four, you really start to see these matches just kind of explode with creativity. There's a lot of little niche things that you don't normally see that have come out during these matches like this. And now's the time to kind of like really show those, because when you get your opponent get them with a move they don't expect, that's when you see a lot of like turnovers and just wins, because you just play in such a way that your opponent just does not think of it.
Speaking of bringing something that your opponent is not expecting, what are the next two competitors?
Well, you should tell me. I labeled the last two.
Well, okay then, if you insist.
I do insist. You better do it.
In the next match, wait a second, did I get a... I think I got people... Oh, shoot, I got Nihilus mixed up with Bananas in the last one.
Oh, no worries.
And I think you did too. I think you called Bananas Nihilus multiple times as well. I think we both got it mixed
maybe?
up.
I thought it was... either way, it was Bananas last one. This one's Nihilus. Who's Nihilus' team, though?
Nihilus' team is the Dallas Duckletts, and Nihilus took on, or is taking on, Vincent of the Heerlen Hawluchas.
Yes, and we've all talked about Vincent a lot. Sure, there's the Zamazenta issue. There's the fact that, like, there's Zamazenta.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yes. But you did say something unexpected, and there is something unexpected here. Ferroseed. And
Sorry.
Go ahead.
This is Vincent's first time bringing Ferroseed.
Yeah.
Ever. Period. Vincent has never brought Ferroseed, which means that Nihilus probably did not prepare for Ferroseed, because Vincent has never brought Ferroseed.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this means Nihilus' team doesn't really look well prepared to beat Ferroseed.
Yeah, I think one of the other issues is there are quite a few Pokemon here who do get Counter. Counter's a great play to Zamazenta, but outside of Counter and like an Earthquake from Gligar, Nihilus does not have the best matchup for Zamazenta. You do have a lot of Pokemon here who don't want to take a fighting hit from Zamazenta or a steel hit from Zamazenta, so, you know, it's a little rough to deal with.
Basically, long story short, this matchup does not look great for Nihilus.
Yeah.
Just right out the gate.
But the thing is that you have to remember, Nihilus has also just been playing super well this season. He's in playoffs. He's in top 8. And he's done really good at getting there. And one of the things Nihilus does really well is how he just plays. Because even though, sure, the matchup looks rough, but you have to remember, it's not about, like, you know, the Pokemon that are in the match. Sometimes it's to the trainer who's using them.
Absolutely. And since Pokemon is a game where pretty much anything can happen at any time, how you are able to adapt to the ever-changing situation is probably the most important part. But why don't we actually watch these situations?
What have I told you? No.
Oh,
we're just going to sit here. We're never going to watch this match.
I would wish you thanks, and then I would have a good day.
Oh, no. Okay, well, I guess we can play. I don't want you to leave.
No.
Everyone else has left me already. I can't let you leave.
Oh, God. What happened after you got out of playoffs control?
No one wanted to talk to me anymore.
Oh, no.
Well, with that shattering bombshell, let's go ahead and get started. Nihilus does start with Mega Blastoise, and we do see Zamazenta crowned, of course. And Spookman not wanting to stay in because Aura Sphere just does so much damage.
Absolutely.
Even 43% to this. Switching into Ninetales Alola. Probably for a freeze dry. Zamazenta comes back out.
Having the hail out
yeah,
seems to be a very good strategy to like slowly whittle down the likes of Zamazenta, assuming that you can stall. Assuming that you have the
one of the
ability to do
things Vincent does struggle against, as we've seen against like Mass and I think another match, is that he does not deal with stall very well. Counter, by the way, coming in, killing Zamazenta. Super cool. Good job on Nihilus' part right there.
Oh my god, apparently Vincent did not know that that got counter at all.
Yeah.
Which is why he played right into it.
Yeah, very unfortunate that Zeraora also has a balloon on it. Basically, Nihilus' best option is to get that off of there. Pharisee comes out, and Empoleon comes in to try and deal with it. Moltres comes in on this, though, and then immediately just U-turns back into Zeraora. And going for the defog, which is fine. I personally would have gone for the hit, but that's just me. I like just getting off any damage to whatever's left. Could have been afraid of Lantern, though, if it's water absorbed.
Oh, yeah, good point. Good point. You always got to have that terrain control. Because those things can add up in a hurry, especially if you're trying to just out-survive.
Yeah.
Which seems to be the strat here.
Yeah, definitely is the case. Essentially, Nihilus is playing really well. His switch-ins are great. He called the fake out there on Zeraora, trying to get a burn off on something, but, you know, Moltres cannot be burned. It is a fire type.
Yeah, this match initially looked really, really bad for Nihilus, but with Zeraora successfully downed by that counter, things are swinging pretty hard back in Nihilus's potential here.
The big issue still is that Ferrothorn. He needs to get some damage off, and this Moltres as well. He does need to kill this. Ferroseed.
Ferroseed, right. Okay.
Sorry.
I was very confused for a second.
Yeah.
Water absorb. Oh.
Yep.
That is the most painful thing to see, getting switched into an absorb.
Yeah. Vincent did bring Water Absorb the last match he was in, which was against Mass just before playoffs. This is, of course, Vincent's first playoffs match.
Sometimes you just have to assume that they're not going to absorb you. Sometimes you gotta just hope that they have some other combination, because not really other move you could choose in those situations sometimes. Clicking
on Blizzard. Not too sure why not. Might have been expecting Gardevoir to come out, potentially. I'm not too sure. Or Zeraora.
Ligar playing in dangerous territory here. Not really sure about the Protect there, because I feel like the Roost would be a pretty...
Nihilus might have just been going for an Earthquake to try and kill it anyways. Vincent
That's
just played... Point. Yeah, Vincent just played it safe. Getting a good burn off on this thing, though, because Earthquake now is going to do, like, next to nothing against a very bulky Lantern here.
How does Nihilus deal with Lantern in this situation?
Earthquake will still do some decent damage, not enough. Empoleon does also get Earthquake. However, he also doesn't want it to get burned, and that's a big issue there.
The offensive coverage from Lantern is very difficult for Nihilus to deal with, for sure.
Yes. We did get a heal bow there from Ninetales, though. Ninetales also does get Freeze Dry. We do see Rain Dance coming in. A lot of counter weather. Weather set up by other Pokemon that don't have like a natural weather set has been coming a lot this season, I feel like.
That's really interesting, actually.
Mm-hmm.
One of the perks of Draft League, I suppose.
Yep. An unfortunate burn on Empoleon as well, and at this point, even a clicking Earthquake's probably not going to do too much, but Nihilus going for the rocks because, you know...
And the rain in this region, oh my god. Whew!
Yeah.
The rain in this region must be pretty bad if it can't put out the fire that it's burning from.
Yep, definitely the case. Although the Sandslash coming out, I'm not sure. It does get counter, I believe. Yeah, we do see counter. Like another Gyro Ball, but at least he comes in. And at this point, with Empoleon gone, Gligar's kind of left, as well as maybe Blastoise to deal with Pharisee.
Yeah, Vincent just has so many nasty Pokemon to deal with.
Yeah. And with Moltres still being alive and Boots, we do see the knockoff here. Flame Body is very unfortunate, and Leech Seed is such a menace for Nihilus. Taking a page out of that book that Mass had with his Leech Seed, it looks like. Man, Ninetales is still alive somehow. I cannot believe it.
Could take a beating and keep on keeping.
Yep. Gligar back in. Still burns, still gets roost and everything, but at this point, there's not a lot of offense Nihilus can bring. Blastoise might be able to do some damage. I'm just not sure. It's something where he wants to basically bring it in safely at this point. He's trying to stall out. Moltres does get roost. Is it running it? It is running it.
Dude, Ferroseed with Stealth Rock has been an absolute menace for Nihilus to deal with.
It has.
It's so good at dealing with so much of Nihilus's team, and putting down those rocks just so much trouble for Nihilus.
Yeah. One of the biggest issues Nihilus has right now is just the level of health he's at for most of his Pokemon being just nearly 50 or less than that, with Gligar being burned. There's not a lot of room Nihilus has to really take back, with Ferroseed having... my bad, I didn't let me scroll here. I'm recording. With Ferroseed having Leech Seed, it makes it so just... you can see like Spookman's Pokemon right now are all really high in HP, and they can just easily get more with just a Leech Seed. And that keeps Nihilus on a back foot and just having to keep switching back and forth and really not having a lot of ways to get off momentum. And of course, this thing just comes in on Sandslash. Yeah, and I think at this point, Nihilus has just lost too much ground. Click on Blizzard instead of Aurasphere here, and I personally just don't know why. He might have been expecting a switch there. I just don't know, because Aurasphere does more damage.
Yeah, I mean, if you're deep in the weeds when you're figuring out what to do where, you never know what the calculations are behind the scenes. Yeah. The crit there, it probably didn't matter too much.
Didn't really matter too much. At this point, it was more of a waiting game. It's just like, Nihilus can't keep up. Moltres still being alive is really a pain for Nihilus to deal with.
And Vincent wins the battle 5-0, moving on to the final four.
Yeah.
The sole representative of the Pearl division moves on.
Yeah, I guess the question is, can he keep up the momentum for Pearl and take it all the way to victory? We do know that he is undefeated at this point still, and very much has been trying to go for that sort of spree of just making it all the way to grand finals and just getting first place undefeated.
He's got a hell of a team.
He
can
does
play his ass off, and he's got an excellent team.
Oh yeah. And again, even
Good Lord.
The thing is, even with the Zamazenta, right? He's still playing really well. Zamazenta was gone that whole match. The rest of his team is stellar, and he plays really good. I don't want to keep putting Vincent down just because he's got Zamazenta, but it's there's still the player behind the Pokemon, like we were saying earlier. Vincent's a very good player.
And of course, speaking of the player behind the Pokemon, Nihilus, holy shit, Nihilus was fighting an uphill battle that entire time, but still made ground multiple times, regardless of the insane odds against him. Beating Zamazenta at all was like a 500 IQ move.
Yeah, really well played with the counter.
Oh my god.
And not just that, it was a slow whittle down. I think it was at that point where essentially once Moltres was hard to deal with and health was being lost, Nihilus has no recovery for health other than Gligar. And once he's being chipped away at, the stall game does not work in his favor with the Pokemon he had. So it was constantly uphill, but he was playing so well with the switch-ins and the switch-outs and predicting what Vincent was sending in. Well played, Nihilus. Good job.
Very, very good job. Seriously.
Yeah, for sure. With that being said, though, we do have a couple more matches left. We went through one pair of cards. We got this next match, though. I think it's my turn to introduce, actually, isn't it? We have Kenneth of the Neerdowell Nidokings fighting Scoots of the Dumblespoods army. Kenneth and Scoots, of course, having really good seasons overall. Kenneth having a major win over IDM earlier. More so, the 6-0 was just actually insane. The win... I could definitely see Kenneth winning on any sort of given day against IDM or whatever, but getting a 6-0 is a big deal.
That's nutty. The swings that Kenneth can get with his team are out of this world.
Yes, but let's not sleep on Scoots. Scoots,
The only thing I knew about Scoots for years is that Scoots is really, really good at Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like, Scoots is really, really good at Pokemon.
Yeah, Scoots plays really well. I did have an upset against it, but my goodness, was that an uphill battle and terrifying. Scoots is a stellar player. He has been a champion before, getting first place. He goes toe-to-toe with IDM often, from what I remember of previous seasons. I can't go into details, though, because I'll probably end up getting a lot of facts wrong. But trust me when saying Scoots is a really good player, beating Aurora earlier in his first week, getting a very solid sweep overall of Aurora's team. And we can even see here some staples for his team coming back with Electros, which I think has come like every week for the most part. And
are you sure it's Aurora? Was Scoots in?
Yes, that was for week 1 playoffs.
Playoffs, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Right, sorry.
No worries. We do see Electros here coming in. Might be Assault Vest, might not be. I'm not sure. It has a lot of good moves, a lot of utility. We do see Milotic here, and Weavile is terrifying. It does a lot of damage to a lot of these Pokemon. Depends on that Silvally set, because Silvally can just be any type. We did see, though, previously that Silvally was a normal type before, with no item on it. So that was very interesting.
Yeah, not really sure what to make of that.
Yeah. But with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at this fight, shall we?
Let's go, baby.
Yeah, it's good saying. Have a nice substitute there. Of course, Mega Altaria does get moves to deal with this. Glare's nice, 100% accurate. Paralysis, yep. Ice Beam, there it is. Scoots does not want to stay in on that. Milotic comes
Even
in.
Paralyzed. Don't want to take that chance.
Yep. Kevin's doing a good job, though, protecting a switch out, not going for Ice Beam a second time. Zakataka coming in. At this point, Rodriguez comes in on it, and Stealth Rocks gets set up.
Sets up $400 billion in the corner of Kemeth.
Yep.
But the Toxic Spikes come in.
Yes, they do.
Did they actually land? Or
They did land. Sometimes when you rewatch these replays, it doesn't do too much. Kemeth coming in, and this thing's just building up its special attack, and Kemeth going for a roost here, just to try and see how much an Ice Beam is going to do to it. That crit, I believe, mattered.
Oh.
50% on an Ice Beam is ridiculous. Plus, with leftovers, it's not going to kill unless that was a really low roll. And with 4 times special attack, oh.
Good lord.
Scoots is afraid of Sock. I'm not sure if it gets triple axle. It does get close combat, though. And it is scary.
The Toxic Spikes are an excellent setup by Cam, for sure.
Oh, yeah. And we do see, I believe, a second set come out here at some point soon. Yeah, there it is. But the burn on Rodriguez is rough. The Scald is really nice. And at this point, Scoots has no reason not click on Scald again just to kill it.
But Cam successfully set up the fully Toxic Spikes, which can be a hell of a nuisance. That is for sure.
That is for sure, but I'm not too certain. Yeah, we get a flip turn here. Going into Superior. The battle timer had been turned off, by the way. Turned on.
And then off again. It was an interesting shenanigans with the timer.
Yeah. We do get a defog there. It does get rid of the spikes, which is really nice. Scald's still doing 24%, a lot of damage, actually. Especially to a water type. Grass not doing nearly enough. Scoots getting the hell out of there and going into Weavile just to probably click close combat and kill this thing. Oh, there's a knockoff. Nope, even better. I don't know why I thought close combat. Knockoff makes a lot more sense.
Oh, the crit on the U-turn. Do you think that was a... No, it wasn't. Oh my god.
Yeah, potentially might not have made that big of a difference. Scoots probably sent this in.
Did, no.
Yeah. Scoots still has a good selection of Pokemon left, and so does Kemeth. Like, there's a couple scary things Kemeth still has left. Earthquake, though, Garchomp does so much damage to this.
Yeah, Scoots is starting to rack up a bit of an advantage against Cam for sure.
Yeah, nice Volt Switch here. Goes into Weavile because it's just faster. Yep, click and pursuit.
Oh, the pursuit.
Just, for the switch out. Safer to click on.
I mean, even if they don't switch out, you know.
Yep. Scoots choosing to sack this most likely. just to safely get in Guard Chomp. Yep, Kenneth going to Iron Maiden here just to be safe, but we see a Akka Berry here to take that Flamethrower to the face. Iron Defense, Flamethrower coming out again, and a burn is so unfortunate.
Does defense actually protect against Flamethrower?
No, Iron Defense. Iron Defense is for body press, do more damage.
Oh, okay.
It attacks based off of your defense.
Right, that makes sense.
Yep.
Okay.
And at this point, though, Kenneth did not have enough ground to make back up. With Garchomp still being alive, he really didn't have a lot he could do left. But well played by both players. Scoots taking a victory. Kenneth having to end his season here after that 6-0 against IDM to get into playoffs.
It is very surreal to see players playing at this high of a level, because looking over that game, I don't know if Cam actually did anything wrong over the course of that game, or even got particularly crazy luck, or even brought a bad team, or anything, really. It's just, it comes down to so many little tiny things.
Yep.
And then it somehow ends up at a 3 fight, them both playing at insanely high levels.
That's just
surreal to see.
That's just where you get to when you get to playoffs with these kind of players, and where we get to, and just how well they play. Because again, they both played really well. Like, someone did lose, yes, but regardless, there's a lot of thought and energy and effort put in onto both sides of these battles. Like, again, with Nihilus played super well, predicting and switching in and out and everything against Vincent.
Thing is, though, with Nihilus was fighting a severe uphill battle with, like, the matchup that was brought. In this case, Cam? Not necessarily was. It was just all the tiny little tails that...
Yep.
I don't even think we could really see from a surface level at all. We'd have to really dig down deep.
Yeah. That's something where we'd have to sit down and really just analyze a lot of what goes into the fights and specific moves and why they were clicked. Like, we would have to, like, pause on each turn and be like, well, why would he click this, or why did this move come, or whatever, and this and that and everything. So, but
fortunately, if you check out the Double Dip little website thing, it has all the replays there in case any of you want to go and check that out.
Yeah.
Yes. Is that a plug that's worth making?
I mean, I guess that's a plug worth making. That's fine. Yeah, absolutely. If you ever want to rewatch these fights, if you're in the Discord, you can always check the league replays. But if you're on the Double Dip League, the Draft League website under the Double Dip stuff, you can see the matches and everything.
Yeah, if you go to any schedule, including on the schedule page or in people's profile pages or anything else that has matchups, if you click on the numbers, it goes straight to the matches. So for whatever few people don't know that, now you know.
Yep. If you want to catch any specific matches, go into, oh, hey, I want to see how this upcoming opponent did against this match or this team or what they brought for this. It's a good way to keep track of all that stuff. And, you know, with that being said, though, there's one little match left we have to talk about.
One teeny tiny match. Nobody of crazy importance to this league.
I mean, I wouldn't know them. Do you know them?
I've never heard of these two before, but I'm gonna go by what I have. Piece of graph paper that I have, like, tucked away in my pocket. Hold on. I believe it is Claire of the Marieland Manectrics. Yeah. Never heard of that place before.
I've never heard of Marieland. It must be a made-up state.
Versus IDM the fourth, I believe, the fourth IDM.
Wow.
Of the Brussels Espeons? Never heard of that location either. That's a strange one.
Do you think the 4 is like a family lineage thing? So, like... Like, was it Grandpa IDM that started the tradition of Pokemon, or like...
Great-Grandpa IDM, passing down the Raichu amongst the generations.
Oh, goodness. Yes, we do see Raichu here as well, which has come almost every week on IDM's team.
Which, considering that it's IDM's, like, lowest pick in the draft, is very surprising.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of Tier 5s people kind of sleep on, but, like, some of them are really good. Like, I think... Oh, what is it? I think Duskclaws might be that low, but I might be wrong on that on the tier list. But, like, there's a lot of Tier 5 Pokemon that kind of get slept on that are very good in, like, surprising ways.
There's a lot more possibilities in Draft League, because you can't all run... I don't know, what's a broken strategy? Baton Pass? I don't know.
Baton Pass is an illegal broken strategy.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
As you can probably tell, Cabral is by far the more experienced member of this commentary team.
Oh, no worries. You're here to have fun. We're here to talk about these really cool big matches. And we do see quite a few staples from IDM, though, and a couple of things from Claire that have been coming recently. Steelix has made a couple of recent appearances, as well as Avalug, both super physically just bulky, taking hits all day, probably to deal with Swampert and Honchkrow, I imagine, as well as Lycanroc. But like also with Raichu, by the way, it does get Surf, and I think people forget that. And it's also like very fast.
Yeah, I had to calculate that a bit in my head. Yeah, absolutely. That's pretty much all the mons that have just random access to Surf are a very big deal because of how many water weaknesses there are across pretty much the entire league.
Yeah. Also, we do see Mew making a comeback. We don't know what it's going to be this time around because IDM did run a full sweep set with it last time.
Yeah, with IDM, a lot of these mons are just staples of IDMs, including, of course, the infamous Chandelure, as we are all constantly looking at the kill stats of Chandelure across all of Double Dip. But because of Mew, because Mew can do anything and be anyone, even when you see the team preview at the start, you have no idea what IDM's doing.
Yeah.
Mew could be anything.
For sure. I do want to say one thing before we start. Chandelure kind of hurts Claire's team a lot.
Yeah, Chandelure is a menace.
Yeah. It's been surprisingly solid. Chandelure, so it's not this season's kill leader or whatever. I believe the stats, you can always look those up on the website as well and find out right now who's kill lead. But Chandelure is not the kill lead for the season. However, it is, I believe, the kill lead for the entirety of playoffs in the past 5 or 6 seasons.
I am currently looking that up now.
It should be around 37 some odd kills, I believe. I don't recall right now, but
it is. Oh my lord! Chandelure has 47 all-time kills.
Yep.
Which is over 10 higher than the next highest one.
Yes, Chandelure has been, I believe, one of these staples that has brought a lot of teams to glory for Double Dip Draft. It's a strong Pokemon, Ghost Fire, it's fairly fast, it hits stupid hard, and it gets a nice variety of moves.
It's the most brought, it has the highest KD, it is an absolute monster of a mon.
Maybe you should draft it next season.
Good. Maybe.
Well, speaking of drafting next season, we're not going to talk about drafting next season. We're just going to watch this fight.
Yeah, let's do that.
We do see a Steelix start. We do see Toxic immediately coming out to deal with Swampert. And then Claire opting to switch out into Quillfish.
So what is a more nasty setup here? Toxic or Stealth Rocks? Because, oh boy.
Yeah, oh boy indeed. Mew coming out, Steelix coming back in because Claire's worried about whatever this Mew does.
Trying to scout out.
Oh, we get a Dragon Dance.
Dragon Dance Steelix.
Yep, very
immediately
fun.
switches out, but very threatening IDM with the dance moves.
Yep. Claire doing a nice job predicting that Earthquake, going for Grass Knot, deal with Swampert, but not enough because IDM goes into this lovely thing, which does have Psychic and Reflect. So likely this is going to be utility with a couple of attacking moves to deal with some things. Yeah, and maybe U-turn, but I don't know. Utility
and stab.
Oh, that Heat Wave missing, I think, is pretty big. I don't think it would have killed, but it would have definitely hurt.
Yeah, for sure. European luck not really coming for IDM.
Yeah, that's this time around.
The opening turns.
Claire doing a good job just knocking Mew down. It does have Roost. Yeah.
Claire learning more and more about Mew in this battle.
Yep. The special attack drop is super nice. Mew just going back to full health at this point. Going back into this, clicking on Toxic again. IDM predicting that, though.
Beautiful prediction by IDM.
Oh, yeah.
Earthquake doesn't do quite enough.
Yep.
Flip turns out huge. Little momentum.
Yep. We do have Chandelure, which comes in, which goes for a substitute, and that could be very unfortunate if Claire's not ready for this. We do see Toxic Spikes coming out. It does get burned. Yep, it's just mostly Toxic Spikes right now, and Aqua Jet, but that burn makes it so it does not get rid of Sub, and Shadow Ball just kills it.
Oh,
Yep.
that's gross.
Thunder comes out. It does get rid of the substitute, but it also just dies to a flamethrower, and this is really scary for Claire at this point.
Yeah, Claire's not looking great. Has the toxic spikes up, but needs IDM to start switching into something that isn't, Swampert.
What is nice is that this Dedennes does outspeed Chandelure, and so IDM does have to get rid of these toxic spikes and does have to get rid of the Chandelure, otherwise, get rid of this Dedennes, because Dedennes will deal with IDM, and if it's gone, then IDM can sweep with Chandelure. That's what I'm trying to say.
Light screen and reflect, but with toxic spikes on the other side, huge heavy slam.
Yep. Not getting quite the 50, but that's okay. The toxic spikes are gone, though, which can be an issue for Claire if she's not ready for it.
Very heavy hitter, though.
Yep.
But the surf, out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That surf is crazy. Apparently, one of them had Custap Berry. I forget which one.
Celix had Custap Berry.
Right.
I think it dealt with, I can't remember. Something. Fighting.
Oh.
Yeah.
Earthquake nearly killing Raichu. A lot of very close calls.
Yeah, a lot of very close calls. Screens mattered there, and of course this does come in and still kill. Claire down to 2 Pokemon against 3 and very much backed into a corner. Wants to switch out because an Iron Head will kill, but Avalugg still being alive can take hits all day from that.
Good lord, Avalugg's insane. Avalugg is the table. Holy
yeah, it is
hell.
the table. Ice Screen coming in.
Man.
Avalanche doing a decent amount of damage, but Mew is just really hard to deal with, and Claire needs a miracle at this point. Claire is fighting an uphill battle because Mew does have Psychic, and that will hit this hard because it does not have a lot of special defense.
So is Claire predicting the Psychic there with the Roost?
Yep.
I think? I don't know.
Claire going for a Moonblast, getting a special attack drop.
Gets the debuff. Huge debuff.
Yeah.
Huge debuff for Claire.
Chandelure coming out, resisting that. Claire going for the Power Gem, doing 57%. This Shadow Ball was a low roll.
Lowest possible roll on that Shadow Ball keeps Claire in this match.
Yeah, it does. Because Chandelure would have killed.
Off.
Yeah, and with screens wearing off, that's not good for Claire. Claire doubles back into Dedennes, doing a good job right there. And of course, at this point, Dedennes does outspeed Mew, killing it, getting rid of screens. Lycanroc is still faster, but IDM doubles into Chandelure. Claire staying in to use Protect. Makes a big difference. Power Gem killing. And at this point, Claire just protects.
Scout
going for Iron Head. IDM going for Stone Edge, missing.
Misses. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Very unfortunate. Probably should have gone for the Iron Head or even Accelerock. Don't know if IDM was running it. I think IDM was expecting a switch to Avalugg. But at that point, Claire turned this fight around and beat IDM, knocking him out of playoffs. Huge victory for Claire. Yeah. Great work. Holy hell. And I don't think it was quite the lowest possible roll, but it was absolutely one of the lowest rolls. It looks like the range was
one of the 2 lowest possible rolls.
Yeah, it looks like it was a 58.9 to a 69.7% roll, and IDM absolutely still rolled basically the lowest. I'm being really granular with it wasn't the lowest, but it basically was.
Dice game for children, everybody. But no, it's kind of, again, really surreal when you get to this high level of expertise and of just combat knowledge that it comes down to these really granular dice rolls.
Yep.
Because both of them are just playing exactly the way they need to play, and then it just switches on a dime at the last possible second.
Yep.
There's really no other game like this, gonna be real.
Oh,
for better and for worse, there's nothing else quite like good old double dip dice roll draft league. Holy hell.
Yep. And with that being done, we now have our top 4 going into grand finals and semifinals. Why don't you announce the top 2 who are fighting each other, and then I'll go over the bottom 2 who are fighting each other.
Okay, the top 2 that are fighting each other are, I believe, I'm going just by their logos and trying to get it from memory, Dumblespoods Army taking on the Heerlen Hawluchas.
You got it.
Yes!
You nailed it.
Which is Scoots versus Vincent. Vincent being, the only representative of Pearl Division. Yep. And then every single other person in the top 4 is, I believe, Diamond Division.
That is correct, because the bottom 2 are Bananas of the Don't Drop That Dedennes fighting Claire of the Maryland Manectrics. So Diamond Division has basically made it to top 4 except for me, and I did not make it. But that's okay, because the rest of them are there, and they're going to fight it out, and it's going to be insane. So, like we were saying, it's not going to be one of these recorded situations where you can come back the week after and then catch it after it's done. The final 4 are going to be live streamed, so that means that all 4 players have to prep their teams for any potential match coming up. So Vincent is not only preparing for Scoots, but is also preparing for Bananas and for Claire during the live stream that's going to happen.
Indeed.
Yeah. We're going to be going through and talking about, it'll be Cody and I will be hosting the live stream itself. We're going to be going over just re-highlighting what you've just double dip draft this season, what's gone into it. We're going to have the Dippies. We have 6 wonderful awards, the handout, and of course the first place trophy. The Dippies have been all voted for. We know who's going where. I don't know. But we know the results now, and they're going to be announced then and there at the Dippies. So just because you didn't make it to the playoffs or finals or whatever does not mean you're out and out of winning an award of some sort, you know?
You could have the most heat set. Perhaps you've been a great coach. Perhaps you've had a big upset. Or the worst luck. Or the best comeback.
Yeah.
And that's all of them.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a couple other ones. But with that being said, you know, we have those coming up. It will be at noon Central on Saturday, November 5th, and the matches will be starting at 1 p.m. an hour after we start. We're going to be going over the awards and everything before the match takes off. It will be live streamed, like I said. And then we'll be doing interviews of the top 4 after the matches happen. It's going to be a hell of a day and a hell of a time. Please bring some popcorn, bring a friend, bring your mom. Don't.
Make sure not to put too much salt on the popcorn, because there'll be plenty there.
Oh,
hey!
Let's go. But with that being said, oh, by the way, it will be streamed on Twitch at http, all that fun stuff. Twitch.tv/SpoodSSBM. You can see the link right over here. It'll be down in the description below as well. But please check it out. It'll be a blast. Doodled, thank you so much for joining me.
Well, hey, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Huge apologies to Banana for accidentally calling him Nihilus multiple times.
Hey, that's all
did
right.
not mean to do that.
It's okay. You know what? There's no greater compliment to Bananas than calling him Nihilus.
So let's look over the standings for the... No.
I mean, we already did.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess we did.
Yeah, we have the top 4 fighting each other. And they will basically be prepping for each other's teams. And then we'll have, after the top 4 fight, it'll be grand finals and semifinals. Not semi, sorry. These are semifinals, going to grand finals and the bronze match. That's what it is.
And the Dippies. And then unstreamed will be the discussion on whether or not Zamazenta should be banned.
Yes, and we'll have to find out. And it also makes a huge difference because we don't know what Pokemon are going to be in for the new decks next season. Because we'll be doing a brand new Pokemon region when the new game comes out.
That's terrifying. I cannot imagine having to run that, realizing that something is broken halfway through the season. Good lord.
Yeah.
That sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah. Well,
a fun nightmare.
Speaking of nightmares, I hope you'll have a wonderful night. You take care. Thank you for joining the recaps. Thank you for a wonderful Double Dip Draft Season 6. I'm so excited for Season 7. I think we're going to have a lot of fun. I think there's a lot of really cool players that we got to see this season. Doodle, it was your first time being in Double Dip. Like, what were your thoughts? How did you enjoy it? All right.
It was very stressful, but also had some very high moments. Probably the best part is just the community, getting to hang out with all these total nerds, and just salting all of our popcorn together.
Yeah.
In unison as a collective. You know,
you got that really cool upset on Aurora. That was awesome.
That was actually very fun, and I felt really bad for Aurora. I'm glad Aurora got to playoffs, even though, you know, Scoots is the one in top 4, but, you know.
Yeah.
Very happy for Aurora nonetheless.
Yeah, for sure. But with that being said, I think that'll have to wrap it up. I think we'll have to say goodbye to Double Dip Draft. Not quite yet, but very soon we're going to be saying goodbye, and we're not going to be back again until Season 7, whenever that is. Take care. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Doodle, for joining me.
One final message from our sponsor, Vaporeon.
Oh.
Which, in case you didn't know, is the only Pokemon that is most anyway.
Oh, the most beloved of all the evolutions.
It's true.
It is very true.
It's
all
very
right.
beloved.
Enjoy the cell phone for the last time.
Mwah.